Hey Rick, happy Tuesday after Thanksgiving.
I know, pretty cool, right?
I know. Did you have a nice Thanksgiving?
Yeah, it's nice to get a couple of days off in a row.
I know. I
Right.
know. We're not complaining, but it's been a busy couple of years. So it's nice
Yeah,
to
listen, no complaints at
holidays
all.
use to take some time off. But I too took the weekend off and it was fabulous.
Hmm.
It's so amazing how
Good,
much time
excellent.
the day when you aren't running around. It's pretty cool. But
Yeah.
some of my clients, they went to open houses this past weekend
Hmm.
and they were jammed with visitors. They were
Yeah, but
jammed.
still really busy. Yeah, it was a
I
very busy
know.
weekend in terms of that activity out there still. Yeah.
I mean, it's like the end of the year is it's our busiest time really because we're
Hmm.
planning and we do a lot of
Hmm.
planning. Like we've had
Hmm.
3 2-hour sessions because I have some agents in the office that I coach, and we've had 3 2-hour sessions of planning for next year. And now I'm going into to finish up all my planning, and it's like so much
Hmm.
fun. I love doing it, but
Yep.
it's very busy. And a report
Hmm.
came out today. This one was from Stephen Thomas, and it
Okay.
is astounding. It's so bad, and I'll tell
Hmm.
you why. Because the inventory, and that is the amount of houses for sale. Uh, it's the amount of houses for sale, and then we divide it by how many have sold in the last month, and we come up with sort of the absorption rate.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
our amount of houses for sale in all of Orange County, as per this report that just came out, was 1,457.
Oh, I've never seen it that low in my entire 40 years of being in Orange County. I've never
I know.
seen it that low.
I know. I've
Wow.
sold like
Wow.
60 houses this year, so I've sold a very large part of
I
my
know, right?
life. But I can't even, I mean, this is unprecedented.
So,
So,
so I put that in perspective. Isn't it a
so
normal market? Go ahead.
well, and prior to COVID,
Hmm.
from 2017 to 2019, the average homes for sale was 4,188.
Okay, so I was going to say, yeah, what's that compared to, right?
So it's usually 4,188 versus 1,457. And
So
people
if you do the
wonder,
math, hmm
what in the heck is going on here? That's a 2,731 difference.
it is. I was doing the math on that too. Yeah, that's
That's
low.
insane. So 2,731 people would have to put their house up for sale to have, that was still a seller's market.
That was
Okay.
3 years ago. You said, right? That number.
Yeah.
Well,
It
if
was
you
still a
look, well,
seller's
three
market.
years ago, 3 years ago, it was still multiple offers. It wasn't.
That's right.
I think if you go back, I believe if you go back, say 10 years ago, that
Right.
number is probably more like 8,000 homes.
Yeah,
Because
that
I
was about
remember
right.
3 years ago, right? Because 3 years ago, we're still getting not 20 offers, we're getting 4 or 5 offers,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Still
Yeah.
competitive
Yeah.
market.
I know.
Yeah.
We wrote an offer this weekend on a house and it was listed for 850
Yep.
and we wrote it for 910
Hmm.
and we shortened contingency periods. We um uh waived the appraisal. We told the seller
Hmm.
they can live there forever. Just kidding. After escrow
Kind
closed for
of.
free. And the
Yeah.
agent was like, yawn, what a boring
Yeah.
offer. I'm like, oh my gosh, so we have to offer. I was kind of thinking 930, but it looks like maybe it might be closer to 950. It's like, holy cow. But
So that's 100,000 over, right?
that's 100,000 over. You
Yeah,
have
that's
to be
high.
bold when you are trying to get your offers accepted. Okay, so let's go over this. We did some
Hmm.
numbers before we got on today. You looked at the Case Shiller, right, report that came
Hmm.
out today. And
Hmm.
I looked at, so we have two different resources that we are pulling information from. So one is the Case Shiller and one is the California Association of Realtors report. P.S. I texted you a link to that so you can look at it later,
Oh
okay?
yeah. Okay, I'll look at it later.
Um, So let's go over the home
Okay.
averages, the sales price. This is just for California, and this is per the California Association of Realtors. So in 2020, the average home price was $659,000.
Mm-hmm.
In 2021, that same house will cost you $793,000.
Mm-hmm.
And it is predicted by many reliable sources that the home value will increase at a more normal rate next year of 5.2%. And that house that was 659, then it was 793, is now going to be 834.
Correct.
And so from 2020 to 2022, if you bought in 2020, you've got quite a bit of equity.
Mm-hmm. About 175,000.
Yeah, 175,000. So let's talk about the cost of what that loan looks like. Give us the stats on the tip, like the general loan that you're using and what the difference is in payments.
Well, we just, as a general comparison, we did a rate of 3.5% as a comparison, as an average rate, let's say, for example, over a 3-year period. And we did a 20% down in all these examples. So your difference in your monthly payment between a sales price of $659 and the current price at $834, your difference in your monthly payment is $629 a month across the board.
Mm-hmm.
And then you factor in the difference in the cost of your property taxes. That's another $183 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And so your total cost difference on the same home 3 years later is $812 per month, just in terms of monthly payment.
Mm-hmm. So that's the 659 to the predicted 834, you said?
That, of course, does not calculate the difference in your down payment for that same 20%, right? So from a 659 to an 834, that's about nearly 200,000, about $20,000 difference in down payment. I'm sorry, more than this. We almost, let me see, at 175, we'll do the math real fast. It's more like,
so 20% down on 659 versus 20.
no, it's a difference of $35,000 in down payment. So you have a higher down payment, 35,000 more on the same house, and your total monthly payment is $812 a month more, or just over a 3-year period.
Did the Case-Shiller report talk anything about interest rate predictions?
No, but I look at that all the time, as you know. So I think rates are going to stay pretty good. I mean, will they be below 3%? Probably not. But look, if you look at it historically, anything in the 3s is a really, really good rate. We might, I think for the most part of next year, we'll be in the mid 3s, roughly. And that's still a great rate. Now, some people think that might sound kind of high, but you got to put that in perspective. I mean, even 10 years ago, rates were in the 4.5 range, 5%.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, this whole
right?
3% rate thing has only been in the last, 5 years or so, 6 years maybe.
Yeah, last 3 or so years. I mean,
right.
Yeah, I know the history of that pretty well. Anything in the 3s is a great rate.
Oh yeah, even in the 4s,
look, even the 4s is great. Who knows? The market could shift. We might see touching back below 3% again for some short period of time, but that'd be a very short period of time. But I think, you got to be careful. I think anything in the 3% range, 3.5 or so, is a very healthy market in terms of rates. Even 4% is.
So our sort of bold predictions for 2022 is that there's 2 things at play here, and that is that the housing market is in a crisis. There are not enough homes for sale. I do not see this changing anytime soon, because
not going to change.
The people that are in their house are in their house. They've probably refinanced. They probably have a 2% interest rate, and they are not going to move because then their payment goes up, their property taxes goes up. Where are they going to go, by the way? Okay. So I do not see, I don't understand where the relief or foresee where it's going to come from as far as the amount of houses for sale. I think that's still going to.
No, there's nothing I agree with that. There's nothing on the horizon, Megan, that suggests at all that we're going to have more inventory over the next probably 3 years.
I mean, this has
Could
been
be
going
longer.
on for a long time.
Right.
The next thing is that the other bold prediction is that the interest rates will stay favorable and stay probably in the threes. Yeah, I don't think anyone's going to shake that tree. That would be.
I mean, we're certainly going to see some periods of fluctuation where the market's a little bit volatile based on what's going on with the Fed tapering and economic numbers and things like that. But generally speaking, in the threes. Yeah.
And the third thing is that the homes will continue to appreciate, and they won't be the 20% from this year, but they'll be more like 5%. And that's 5% still great. I mean,
yeah, I think 5% might be in the light side, in my opinion. I mean, I could be wrong about that, of course.
Yeah, it could be a little conservative, especially if the rates are good. But you know, people look at what things will cost. They don't typically look at what the overall price tag is. And so with that 834 at a 3.5% interest rate with 20% down, as you noted, this is the jumbo loan department. So the rate
high balance.
Yeah, it'll go high balance, it'll go a little bit higher, but you know, the total payment for something like that's going to be probably about $4,000 a month for 834. So
right.
Very interesting. So the point is, you know, if you see an opportunity, take it, and don't, you know, I hate wasting money, spending money I don't have to spend. I mean, I am super conservative, but you can't look at these numbers and deny that you need to get really aggressive with your offer, you know?
True. Now we talked about that over probably 2 or 3 times this last 12 months on our weekly meetings here. We talked about, you know, about the different spreads, right? On what the offer and what the offers are that get accepted. We said it was between 8 and 10% over asking is what gets accepted. And to your point, just a minute ago, the house that you wrote the offer on over the weekend, that was asking of what, 849.9, was it, something like that? And you're at 910. You got like, oh well, that was no big deal. Let's like next. It's going to go like probably 950. Well, that's, you know, 10% is 85,000 over, right? So that model, I think, still prevails today.
I think you're right, and it's, you know, it does fluctuate based on what the initial asking price is. If it's lower than the market, or if what price range it's in. So there's some fluctuation there, but I agree with you that was that episode that we broke all of that down was episode 47 that we recorded that on April 16th of 2021, and it's says Rick and Meghan discuss what do I offer. So we broke down sort of the psychology of offers, and I'm not just like pulling this stuff out of the air. You know, if I had, I don't know how many listings I've had this year, because I don't count, but it'll probably be somewhere around 40, let's say. Okay. So if I had 40 listings this year and I got an average of 10 offers on each listing, which it was probably more, how many offers have I looked at on my listings this year?
400 or 500.
Yeah. So I think that I'm a pretty reliable resource for asking what in the hell's going on out there and what I should offer.
You're in the trenches for sure.
Yeah. So
no doubt.
All right, Rick. Well, I appreciate your time very much. I think this is really useful, and I really hope that people can get into a house. And I have never had so many-approved buyers in my life that are just waiting. But once you get your claws on something, you've got to get aggressive. I mean,
you got to be aggressive. You got to be really sincere with the offers. And as you know, we go in there together pretty hard with these listing agents to sell our buyers on getting these offers accepted, and that's part of it. But yeah, you've got to write a solid offer, otherwise you don't even get a counter. Right,
you're not going to get a counter. Yeah, exactly. All right, Rick, we will work on our topic for next week as we close the year out, and I appreciate your time. This is very useful information today.
And by the way, as a side note, my little background here,
Yeah.
This is the last week of this background.
Yay!
Right. This is going to get knocked out this week. It's going to be demoed, knocked out. So I'm going to be actually back at the office
Yay!
starting next week. And Karen's like, yeah, she's good. She's like, you're out of here.
I know. She probably cannot wait to get you out of the house. She's like,
I took a demo to get me out.
I know. Good. Yeah. Let's
good.
I can't wait to see what it looks like when you're done.
It's going to be fun.
Yay. All right, Rick. Have a great week. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Megan. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.